Good evening, one and all. Welcome to the Mental Health Webinar Series 2020 and 2021. Successfully, today we are in 498 session. Only one more session to reach 500. Day after tomorrow is our 500 session. It's a big milestone with all the participant support and with the expert resource persons as well. And today we are going to see the topic being emotionally wise by the resource person J. Vijay Priya, counselor, life coach. She done MA English Literature. She done Diploma in Career Counseling. She done Diploma in Guidance Counseling. She's working as a consultant at Sanjeevani Hospital, Chennai. She's a partner in UMatter based counseling service. She is doing a free service in UMatter. I would like to invite today's resource person and all the participants on behalf of American College Madurai, MS Chellamuthi Institute Madurai, Madras School of Social Work Chennai, Red Pond Educational Psychological Research Center Madurai, Yellow Pond Counseling Center, and Tamil Nadu Career Counseling Association, Tamil Nadu Counseling Psychotherapy Association. This kind note, I would like to invite Mrs. Vijay Priya ma'am to take over this session. Ma'am, over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Salim sir and Suresh sir, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to give my presentation this wonderful evening. And thank you one and all for participating in this event today. Emotions, as we know, play a very, very vital role in making a person, right? So what are emotions? How is it actually formed? Okay. As humans, when we open our eyes every morning, we see so many objects, events, people, situation, and those we perceive with all our five senses, and it gets registered in our mind. And they transform into emotions depending on how we perceive them. Emotions leads to thoughts and thoughts to behavior. If these thoughts continue for a very short period of time, they are called as mood. If it continues for a very long time, it forms a part of our personality. So what exactly is emotion? It's a very simple, beautiful, profound topic. And today's session is like a reiteration for me as well. It's a small revision for me as well. How to keep our emotions in check, help us to uplift us and reach our goal instead of pushing us down. So let's go ahead with the session, friends. I'll just continue with my presentation. Right. Yes, as I said, there are various types of emotions, and we have basics emotions, different type of emotions. We automatically columnize it as happy emotions, positive emotions, or negative emotions. In our performing arts, in Indian performing arts, we have different, we call it as Navarasa, the basic emotions, we call it as Navarasa. So humans are the only beings who are gifted enough to express their feelings and thoughts by emoting themselves in their facial expression, their body language, and sometimes we actually use our emotions to mask with some other emotions which we want to show it to the world. Okay, so we are very gifted to be able to express our emotions very beautifully to the external world, right? So when we categorize emotions as positive and negative emotions, automatically people think that negative emotion is bad. Having negative emotion is very bad. It's not good. It doesn't help us. I would love to differ in this. I'll say negative emotion to a certain extent is possible, not for a very long time, not for a very larger extent, but little bit. How does it help us? Helps us to realize what we are capable of in our adverse situations. It helps to pull us up from our adversities. It makes us realize what we are, what the world is, and what we are capable of. Okay. So say you're going for a job interview, or you're on your way to to propose a project or something. You have forgotten a very important document at home, and you have a very limited space of time to go back and fetch it. So what do you do? On your way back home, you don't think about how beautiful the scenery is or something like that. The primary emotion you'll be feeling right then is anxiety. Will I be able to make it in time? Will I be able to get my papers in time? Or is it in the place where I have kept it actually? All these thoughts will be primarily running in your mind. At that time, you won't be able to enjoy what you're eating or what you're seeing. Your focus is totally on your objective. So, such way, the negative emotions does help us to narrow the vision and focus on our objective and in reaching the goal. It helps us. So tentatively, we can assume like negative to positive emotion, 1:3 ratios. It gives us a proper balance. Say you're going for a buffet with a wonderful spread of starters, soup starters, and what are the main course, and everything is right there in front of you. Beautiful aroma is there, and the very vision of food is so enticing, and you're feeling so happy to just taste the food. At that time, when you keep the first spoon in your mouth and it is without salt, how do you feel? You're not able to realize the other tastes and other flavors in the food without a pinch of salt. So yes, negative emotions, just like that pinch of salt, it helps to realize the other profound and positive emotions present in us. It helps us to pull us up and face adversities. So yes, so it is necessary to a certain extent, but not for a longer period of time, not consistently for a great period. Okay, so positive emotions, the very sound of positive emotion is so uplifting, so content. And as I have given a few points, there are hundreds of points which we can give in association with the positive emotions. Here it helps to broaden our thought, it makes us vision our goal, our future, and it helps us in an upward spiral, and all it helps us in becoming very strong mentally and otherwise. Okay, so positive emotions does replace negative emotions instantly. Say you're just going returning back from your job, or you're just on a travel. Suddenly you realize, oh, such a beautiful park, let me get down and go for a walk. And you just get down from your vehicle, park your vehicle. You're just about to reach the park when your footwear is just broken, right? It might be a sandals or sneakers or whatever it is just broken. You feel very irritable. I'm just about to go and I wanted to improve my mood, and look, what is this? This has happened to me. And then you think, okay, nevertheless, anyway, I've come this far, just a few more steps. What do I have got to lose? You remove your sandals or sneakers, keep it in your hand, and you just step into the freshly watered lawn. And when you feel the beautiful feel of the watered grasses underneath your feet, what is it you feel? You feel so happy, you feel content, you feel out of this world. Indescribably, it lifts your mood. Yes, positive emotions has that energy. It has that power to replace the negative emotion in a jiffy, right? So you're eating a cone of ice cream, just about when you're about to you just about to taste it, and then it just falls off. The ice cream just falls off. You feel so irritated. I'm just about to eat it. What is this? It's happening to me, all that. But when you see a small puppy or some small animal just licking it off, you feel, oh, it's so beautiful, let it enjoy it. You feel very happy, much more than you enjoying the small one enjoying it. So like that, the positive emotion within a jiffy, it can just transform your negative emotion. So yes, how do we find out how emotionally vulnerable or strong we are? There are 5 aspects which we need to focus on. That is, we need to question ourselves as self-awareness. What am I as a person? How capable am I? How in touch with my emotions am I? And next is empathy. Am I aware of what others are feeling, what others are going through? Next comes self-regulation. If there is any issues, how am I dealing with it? What are the emotions I'm going through? Social skills, realizing the emotions of others as well. And last, self-motivation. If there is an issue, how do I categorize it? Is it easy? Is it difficult? Am I able to deal with it? All these questions help us to, judge our emotional intelligence. And these are the various factors which shows low emotional intelligence of the people. Being aggressive, demanding, bossy, confrontation, distracted, selfish, all these aspects show low emotional intelligence of the people. Being a perfectionist is okay, but expecting that perfectionism from everyone. People are different, their capabilities, skills, personalities are varied, right? So, yes, high emotional intelligence. These are the qualities which we can see outwardly, and easily we can judge whether the person is having a high intelligence, emotional intelligence, or low emotional intelligence. These are some of the qualities which helps us to judge not only on others, we can apply it to ourselves as well. Okay, there is some adverse situation. When I talk about emotions, it doesn't just apply to us personal life as well, it applies to professional life. So I'll not label it as personal, professional. I'll not go here and there. Emotions are emotions. Okay, it applies to us people, situations, events. It varies, but yes. How do you, when you're having an adverse situation, when you're in a dilemma, when you're in a failure, so what do? You need some alone time to reflect on it, to think about it. You want to ignore people for a while, ignore the situation for a while, and you don't want to eat food, you don't want to sleep, or it can be contrary, you want to eat too much of everything, or you want to keep sleeping. Anyway, whatever works, if it is for a short span of time, that is okay. But if it continues for a very long span of time, it might lead to substance abuse and totally different physical and physiological as well as mental dilemmas. So avoid that. And how do we effectively manage physical exercise? You can ask me, ma'am, I'm feeling already down. I'm feeling sad. You are expecting me to go for a strength training workout, HIIT workout, all these things. How can I pull myself up for the exercise? No, that's not what I mean. You can start with 5 to 10 minutes of walk. You can go take a pleasant walk, early morning walk, get plenty of bright sunlight, lots of vitamins, happy vitamins. It pulls up your mood. Okay, it improves your health as well. Start with small walks. Talk, talk with a person whom you're comfortable with whom you can be yourself. Talk with a person who mentors you, who guides you, or you can listen to very moral, uplifting podcast programs. You can listen to music, talk to people. You can pick up the hobbies which you have left off. Personally, for me, walking and reading helps. These are my two to go buddies, all time buddies they are. So yeah, it helps me a lot. And when we go for walk, it's not like with a judgmental attitude, watching everyone what they are doing, what they are doing, he's doing, she's doing, all that. No, enjoy it, and just keep focus on yourself and just enjoy the walk. Doing some small errands, uncluttering mental and the physical space as well, it helps. Simple issues, it helps. Bill Gates used to wash the dishes every night at his home, and he used to wash dishes, and it used to unwind him. It helps him to unwind. And he not only washes the dishes, he used to arrange it in order. That used to help him to arrange his thoughts in order. Okay, shopping, you can go window shopping or something like that. I'm not encouraging you to be shopaholic. You can just go enjoy. Retail therapy helps to a certain extent. So there are hundreds of things which you can work according to your convenience, right? Resilience. What is this resilience? Resilience is the ability to cope with any given situation, ability to cope with it. Be mentally strong enough to cope with the situation. We have many people who have come over their adversities and they have come up as a winner. That doesn't mean we have to emulate whatever they do. Our personality, life situation, everything varies. But why do we have so many examples of peoples like Abdul Kalam? We have our all-time favorite Thomas Alva Edison, and we have Jack Ma from Alibaba. All they were continuous failures in their academic life as well. I'm talking about Jack Ma here. So he had applied for more than 30 jobs. In all the job interviews, he was the only person left. The others were all recruited by whatever, be it in KFC. He went to be interviewed as a cop. He was the only one rejected. So all these opportunities gave them a jumping pad to make something of themselves. So yes, we no need to emulate them. We can learn from the life lessons. learn that life has been tough for everyone, right? And what do we make out of that life is what it matters. Okay, creating redundancies. Have plan A, B, C. I usually have plan A to Z. Sometimes nothing works, scratch it, start from one and start again. Be it my personal achievement or professional achievement, lots of times it has gone wrong, but it has made me stronger. It has made me become much more a person who imparts much more knowledge, learn more, and try to make myself better. Yeah, so we create redundancies, and in areas which you're not very sure of, take smaller risks. In areas which you're very confident about, you can take greater risks. Okay, get rid of emotions or thoughts which make you very weaker and be more positive and stronger person. You can maintain a mood diary, right? So in that diary, first you can write what is it that is getting you down, what is it that is making you very weak as a person, and then you can rate yourself from 1 to 10, how much emotion you're feeling, what is the rating you will give yourself. And then write the third point would be what is it that helped you to come over that mood. Okay, all these, we keep it in a corner of our mind and we are aware of all these things. But when you write it in a diary and when you maintain a mood diary, you will be able to see the repetitive pattern of what are the people who are affecting you, the events which are affecting you, and how you can set right the situation. You can break the repetitive pattern and make it work yourself, right? So you'll get a very clear picture instead of having it in a mental bias. When you have it in a diary, in a written, when you pen it down, it will be much more useful for you. So you can do that. You can maintain a mood diary. What is it that belief is having? I'm not talking about fake positivity. You're very sad but saying, yeah, I'm a very positive person, I am very good, whatever happens is for good. That's fake positivity. You should truly believe that yes, I can do it. No person wants to live a very simple, useless life. Just existing doesn't work. You have to live, you have to enjoy and live your life. For that, what you have to do, remind yourself that you're better than you think you are. Think big, think big success. Here I labeled it as study successful, unsuccessful people. It is just a labeling. Successful, unsuccessful people. Who are we to subjugate people as successful, unsuccessful? We are no one to label anyone. But why I have named it like this is very simple. People who motivate you, who make you stronger, or successful people. People who pull you down, giving you already know, yes, you have things working against you. You have many factors working against you. You are aware of it. You don't need people to keep reminding you of that again and again. So I have labeled them as unsuccessful people. I'm not talking about their professional life, personal life. I'm talking about their ability to either push you up or pull you.
Vijay Prem, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm back, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. I had some issues with my Wi-Fi, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, sir. I'm sorry for the delay. I'm sorry for the break. I had a back with something, so I'm back again. I'm sorry for it again. So this belief system will strong winter. It was the most deadliest winter in the forest. So all the animals were dying. They were not able to survive all that. They were trying to shift to a warmer region. But in their journey as well, it was very harshest winter. The animals were unable to survive, especially during the night. Porcupine came and a group of porcupines offered, yes, we have deadly wells, we have farms well. So if you want to survive this, we can give you an opportunity to just huddle close to us. We'll pass this winter night and we can survive together. Many I know skeptical of this, saying like this porcupines have deadly quills and they will pierce us and they will wound. We don't want to take such a risk, and they just went away. Okay, a few animals, a very handful of animals trusted. They said, okay, let us give this a try. We want to live. Let us give this a try, and they huddled closer to the porcupine. The night passed. When the morning arrived, it was unfortunate to see the animals which were not trusting enough. They all just passed away in the cold winter night. The few animals which trusted the porcupine, were they injured? Yes, they were injured a bit, but they were able to survive. So the quills of porcupines means some people's betrayal, hurtful words, hurtful situation, unforeseen circumstances, all this it bruises us. Yes, no matter, we can patch ourselves up, and but survival is very essential, right? We need to survive to reach our goal, to live a very fruitful and beautiful life. So let us survive first, and then let us patch the wound, right? We'll see how it goes from now. What are the emotions? What do emotions primarily tell us? When we are physically hurt, yes, the pain in our knee, the pain in our hand, or pain in the eyes, or various pains indicates there is a problem in that particular organ. Okay, or the fever is the symptom of something else, isn't it? In the same way, these emotions or the messengers, they are trying to convey something to us. Just see through this. What is our anger telling you? Our anger is telling us that we are feeling powerless in some aspect of life. Our anxiety is telling you that life is off balance. We need to set it in balance. Our fear is telling you you might be in the process of losing something which is most precious to you, which you think to be most precious to you. And your apathy, when you start feeling anything at all for yourself, for others, when you're feeling very apathetic towards everything around you, it is telling that you're totally burned out and you need to revive yourself, re-energize yourself, isn't it? Your feelings aren't random. They're trying to tell you something. So you need to really work on it and you need to pull yourself up. Harsh realities of life. Life is difficult. Yes. Life is difficult for everyone. Yes, yes, and yes. Life is more difficult for some than for others. Yes. When I was small, I used to wonder, people are people, all are the same. And when I was very tiny, probably 6 or 7 years old, I used to wonder why the laborer is suffering so much, but the rich people are zooming about here and there. Why is there so much disparity? At different point in time, I think this is a common thought for plenty of people, okay? But why is there so much disparity? But life is much more difficult for those who stop growing and learning. When you plant a seed, you just start digging the portions around it, the ground around it, so that it can develop roots, become stronger. When you pour water, fertilizers, and when there is sufficient sunlight, it grows into beautiful sapling. In the same way, you need time and space to grow yourself as a person. The opportunity to see yourself grow and grow into a better person, it makes you much more beautiful. It makes you a very wonderful person. Yes, to make yourself get sculpted from a normal rock or a stone, you need to get a lot of hittings. Yes, lots of experiences, but that's what makes you much more beautiful and wonderful human being, right? A marine biologist wanted to create a very small experiment. What he did in a small tank, he left a shark with a lot of tiny fishes as bait for it. And when he watched, the shark started attacking the small fishes, because that is what it is. It's a predator basically. So it started attacking the fishes and it started eating the fishes. He kept on watching this for several days. At one particular day, he inserted a fiberglass. He made that into two tanks, the central division. So the shark tried to attack the small fishes. It got hit by the fiberglass and it came back again. And it was trying this for continuous time. And then it stopped trying totally. After a few days, it stopped trying. It assumed, okay, no matter how much I try, I can't go at fishes. So it stopped trying. And when he removed the fiberglasses after a few days, the shark didn't even try to go and attack the smaller fishes. It is conditioned that one failure has led me to think that yes, there is setbacks, there is failures. Let me not try anymore. This is what we have all been thinking all these years, right? A few setbacks, a few failures. It's okay. We can start again. We can restart again. Okay, that will help us grow as a person. So we can do not condition ourselves with few failures to think that we can't achieve anything. Let us keep trying. Viktor Frankl, okay, he says something. Before that, I would just say a few words about him. He's been one of the survivor of Nazi concentration camp. That itself says how he is as a person to have survived that ghastly disaster and to have come out with one of a beautiful logotherapy therapeutic technique in psychology. Okay, what he says this is one of my most favorite quote. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. Between everything what is happening around us and how we are going to respond to that, there is a space. And in that space lies our freedom and power to choose our response. We can choose it. The choice is always ours. But what do? We always keep blaming the persons, events, or situations for our downfall. But we have a choice to respond to it, and that choice is always ours. Nobody can take away that choice from us. And in the response we choose to give lies our freedom and growth. This is a very profound quote, which I find it very uplifting for me time and again. So these are the choices. You can go several choices. You can have several hundreds of choices. The first part of the choices I've given is what I choose to live, love, laugh, believe, accept, persist, even in the faces of greatest disasters and whatever, create, excel, lead. Like this, there are so many adjectives, verbs you can add, keep on adding to achieve, to make yourself a very enriched person, right? What are the things which keeps us pulling down? What are the things which take away our energies? Unwantedly, just you know, throw away our energies at unwanted things, putting off things, using negative languages, watching TV more than 60 minutes a day. We can use apps like digital well-being to monitor how much we are spending on the screen time. Gossip, unwanted gossips, gadgets addictions, disturbed sleep, food habits, okay, repeated negative thought processes, clutter, as I said, physical clutter and mental clutter, and putting off things. That is what procrastination is about. Holding not only the objects and as well as whatever, what happened to me when I was such a small child, what happened to me when I was in a teenage. All these we keep on holding in our minds, and this pulls us down. Okay, the questions, the events which always causes havoc, emotional havoc, we need to address it. Even if you can't find closure to it, be at peace with it. Come to a peace with it. If you want, you can have a talk with a person. That would have not been as huge as what you assume in your mind. So you can find a closure with the person concerned, and then you can move forward, right? So all these things, it helps a lot. All these things. It just so happened many years back when my kid was very young, we were waiting for a cab, and unfortunately the cab kept on getting cancelled and it couldn't come. And I grew up with in a way wherein we used to wait for a bus to go. We didn't get a bus, we used to go by an auto. We didn't get an auto, we used to go by walk. That's how we grew up. But the current scenario is not like that. They're so comfortable going all the time in the car or in the bus or in the flight. I'm not talking about even the town bus. They go only by sleeper buses, AC buses. They need all that. Something by walk. If another transportation is not available, they're ready to wait for another 1 hour for another cab, but they're not ready to walk or take a town bus or something like that. And so I was a bit, I felt a bit bad. I just kept quiet. It just so happened that I had to go to my mom's place in Madurai for the vacation. So what I did is one fine morning, I woke up my child and I said, 5:30 in the morning, I said, let's go for a travel. He said, where is the car? Where we are going? I said, no, we'll go, come, let's go. I took him by a town bus. We traveled all the way from Madurai to Tirunelveli. And I didn't talk anything. I didn't tell him, see, this is for me to teach you all that long lectures, nothing. I didn't tell anything. We were just enjoying the journey. early morning journey, and with all that wind, he was able to see different categories of people. I didn't say anything. He was just watching and watching. We went there, we had our lunch, we came back. After that, we go to lots of places inside India, abroad, and all that. A few days back, he just came to me and told me, Amma, we have been to lots of places, which is my most favorite place. That bus ride from Madurai to Tirunelveli is my most beautiful journey. I remember it. Give them space to develop, okay? Not from the window of the car, okay? Let them get into the reality. Let them stay connected to reality. Let us keep them grounded. How we were grounded when we were growing up. Let us give an opportunity for the kids to keep grounded, to keep connected to the basic values. Let them grow on their own. Just give them an opportunity to grow without telling them. Don't tell them. Give them an opportunity to learn and grow by themselves. Stuck zone. Yes, ma'am, you said, yeah, we face the situation, we get out of it. Yeah, whatever you say is correct, but it doesn't work all the time. Sometimes, no matter how many strategies you use, how much brainstorming you do, you're always stuck. Nothing is working. You're stuck. You're not able to move forward. You're not, no amount of methodology, no amount of competence, no amount of teamwork, nothing is working. What do you do then? So what do? Don't pull yourself down. Get out of it. Take a deep breath. How many breaths, ma'am? How do we keep breathing? How does it help? Take deep breath. Relax. Taking a lots of deep breaths, say 4 or 5 deep breaths, will help you relax first. It helps you mentally and physically. Okay. Then you get out of the situation. I'm not talking about parapsychology where you get out of the body, something like that. No, nothing like that. You become an impartial spectator. See the event from a third person view, take a ringside view, see where it is going wrong and try to work on it, break the pattern, and set right what is working for you, brainstorm with new solution, adopt, focus, and act on it. This helps. We are all caught in the life situation. What is life and what is life situation? How is it anyway different? Both sounds the same. Our life is different situations is what makes our life. So forget about life situation and pay attention to life. Life situation exists in mind and time. Life is right here and now. My life is right here, right now. There are lots of external factors happening all the time. There are events happening around me all the time. Is the event under my control? No. Can I control the events? No. Can I handle myself and my emotions? Yes. A very profound yes. Yes, I can control my emotions. I can handle my emotions. My emotions are in my control. But life or life situations is not in my control. Other people, the events, the circumstances, their words, their actions is not in my control. So what can I handle? Can I handle them or can I handle myself? I can take right to handle myself, take control of my life, right? So narrow your life. Learn this. This is very important. It sounds very simple, but this is the path-breaking truth. Actually, learn to mark a division among yourself and the life situation. Handle things which is under your control. Many a time, whatever we think of what we plan goes haywire. It doesn't go as planned many a time. Then how can we expect people or events or situations which is beyond our control to work in favor for us all the time? It's not very clear, right? It's not very good, or it's not very true. It's not applicable at all. Doesn't sound very applicable at all, right? So we'll focus on things which is under our control. Our emotions, myself, we can manage it. So use the senses fully. Use the senses fully. How do you use it? When you see something, be in it totally. When you see something, look at it, enjoy the color, the shape, the beauty of it, listen to sounds. Ah, yes, let us listen to sounds. Oh, is that the busman horning so loudly? Where's the ambulance sound coming from? Not like that. Try to see the silence underneath the sounds. Okay, that's something. Feel anything, textures, feel different textures. That doesn't mean you go and drop some leaves, flowers like this, and build them down. No, don't do that. Okay, I hardly textures, cloths, materials, whatever it is, just try, feel it, enhance your senses. Okay, observe the rhythm of your breathing. Just in this rush hour, just be in contact with yourself. Be in contact with yourself, satiated with yourself, content with yourself. Slow the pace of your rushing life. Bring a quality of compassion and gratitude. It's compassion, gratitude, optimism, forgiveness, all these qualities. Yes, so work on it. It helps you become a better person. Mindfulness and gratitude in this rush life. Mindfulness is actually, it started in our country. It has gone abroad and it has taken weightage and it has come back here again, promoting in a greater degree. But yes, we were always mindful of what we were doing. Yes, when we are always in a rush, being clear about what you're doing right now, this very second. Okay, even if you're drinking water, drink, enjoy, and drink. Even when you're cooking, when you're eating, don't see what is there, what is there. No, no, not like that. Enjoy each and every mouthful of food. Enjoy everything, whatever you're doing. When I go for walks, my morning walks are the most amazing thing I enjoy the most. You know, I actually go almost the same route every day. I rarely change my route. I almost go the same route every day, and I see the same sights. But there are different things happening. Different type of dogs going walking. There are people jogging, and the strangers become our friends, nodding friends at least, hi friends at least. You know, because familiar, we become familiar. Seeing each other every day. There are beautiful flowers on bloom. People might think I'm not a same person because I'll be watching the beautiful flowers. I take time, I see the flowers, the beautiful different colored leaves. We have flyovers in our area. So underneath that flyovers, there are vertical gardens. Even I was a bit, what is this? Will it grow in plastic containers? But now it is in so beautiful bloom. And I enjoyed that, newly painted buildings and everything. More than that, my favorite part is in tea shops. People eating hot vadas early in the morning at 6:30. It is such a beautiful sight to watch. You know, without being judgmental. See, that man is already so stout, he's eating. No, it's not like that. You should see the ecstasy on the face when they savor that vada and tea, having a chat with their friends, you know, students going for competitions in the morning, sports competitions. There's so beauty around you. The moment you step out of your home, you have pop-up of colors, events, people happening right around you. You know, there are so many lessons you can learn without being judgmental. Just watch and learn. You learn so many things. The world is a laboratory. You don't need to pay any fees or any rent for it, for learning. There is no limitation to your knowledge. You can learn, and learn so many things. Life is so beautiful, right? And gratitude. The more this past few years, I have been practicing this, and yes, this was already passed to us from our elders. They always used to have a thought of gratitude. This is passed by the elders to us basically. So when I get up, first of all, I thank for being alive this very day and being healthy, and another day to learn something, do something, all that. So I was, and I thank mentally, at least I thank my grandparents, parents, my sibling, my spouse, children, and whatnot, everyone who has contributed for my betterment and what I've learned from them and all that. So one fine day, I was so overwhelmed with this gratitude feeling. I just called up my mom and I told her, Amma, I'm so happy for the way you have brought me up, for giving me this life and all that. By the time I could continue with my dialogue, she just stalled me and she told me, did you thank the five elements? I said, what five elements? She said, the five elements of which your body is made, the five elements of which this very universe is made. You have to thank that first, okay? Later you can think about us. You first thank all those. Anyway, you go for the morning walks, take a deep breath and thank all the five elements in the open, is what she told me. So you get to learn new things every day from everyone. Thing is, how open are we to learn all these things is what we can do. We can maintain a gratitude journal, or we can write a letter to our professor, teachers. This is long forgotten, but yes, you can courier them, stating how they have impacted your life. you'll feel so much happiness sharing how much they have given to you. You know, you will see how happy they are in giving you so much values. It will make them feel so blessed for being in the profession they were to give you this profound knowledge. You can maintain gratitude journal. You can send letters. You can express. You can pick up a call. Instead of that, you can just pick up a call, talk to the person. What did you talk to the person? Stay connected to the person, right? Instead of sending wishes by WhatsApp and all that, you can just call them up, wish them personally. It'll take a minute or two. Make them know how important they are in your life, right? Yes, I've started doing all this. It's been a learning curve for me. You know, the ultimate change, whatever we have talked about in a nutshell, is what I have given up. The same attributes: cultivating humility, reality, responsibility, the same thing. Whatever we have talked about in a nutshell, I have presented here. And I'm at the end of my presentation right now. I'll just tell a small thing. A small article where I read this, it has impacted me. The thing is, there was this professor, the mid-agers, 35 to 40 years mid-agers, they want to visit their professor. A gang of these friends who are in their middle age went to see their professor. And as they went to visit their professor offered, okay, let me go and get some coffee for you. He went into the kitchen, and these people sitting in the hall, they were chatting about their life. They were bragging, you know, I'm like this and like that. I have so many houses. I have this many cars, and my kids are studying abroad and all that. And talking about that, naturally, it came back into, you know how stressed my life is, how anxious it is. I'm stressed out. I'm totally worn out. All these they were talking about. And as they were talking, the professor entered the hall carrying a huge tray of coffee cups. Okay. And he brought coffee. He offered coffee to everyone. Surprisingly, each cup was of different material. One was glass, one was plastic, one was even wooden, and many were porcelain. And very, very, very precious material it was made of, different material of cups. So the each person, whatever suited his his aesthetic, he picked up the cup and he started drinking the cup, drinking the coffee, smirking and scoffing at the others who have picked up the inferior quality cups. See, not only in life, even in coffee, I've picked up a better cup. Was smirking and scoffing at the other people. So the professor was just watching their expressions, and he just said, "What is it that I offer to you right now?" The people said, "Yes, sir, it's coffee. We are drinking coffee right now." And he said, "Okay, this is what you people are missing out in life. We can take the taste of coffee to the essence of life. Instead of actually savoring the essence of life, you are caught in the external trappings of status, houses, jobs, whatever achievements. You're caught in the trappings and you've actually forgotten how to savor the reality of life. Life is very beautiful. And instead of savoring that life, you people are caught in the trappings. So yes, no matter what, you will be stressed. So come away from the trappings, savor the life is what he told them. Professor being professor, he has given them one more lesson, beautiful lesson. You are a star. Don't let anyone take away your shine. Yes, you're a born star. People are born to achieve. You're born to give the best in this life, right? As we grow up, we listen a lot of criticisms from our society, from the family circles. That is to bring the best out of you, to make you a better person. But what do we do as we grow up? We allow the critic to grow with us, and the criticism has left us. So we personally give that critic a place in our mind, right? They give the critic a place in our mind, and that critic always pulls us down, saying, what is this you're doing? We don't need outside criticisms. The criticisms running even in our mind are the most severe. They have the most profound effect on us. So as this is the scenario where we are using double masks, let us put the double mask to the critic. If the critic is helping us to improve, well, it's good and fine. If the critic inside us is pulling us down, let us put the double mask and keep it aside. Okay, let us focus on the life here and Realize that we are the star. We are born to shine, each of us. Come what life throws us. Do we not have good family situation? Okay, we can do better. We will do better despite it. Yesterday, there was an article that a Bhopal girl, CBSE girl, 99.8% she has scored 10th standard girl. And 2 days before her final exam, she lost both her parents to COVID. You know, she's the state topper. How is it possible for such a small girl to have so much resilience to, come up as a topper, losing both her parents, not even being able to see their bodies, talk to them from past 10, 12 days. She had a younger brother. The only thought that, yes, I have to take care of my younger brother. I have to be more responsible. I have to do my best is the only thought which made her the state topper, despite what is worse that can happen to a kid of that age, losing everything at a moment, right? So yes, all of us have the capability that do that. Laughter is the best medicine. Okay, all these are the points which we get for having laughter in our life. Yes, when you're sad, it is very, it's not very really possible to laugh artificially. So you can see some funny movies, funny serials, whatever tickles your funny bone, you can do that. Or you can talk to persons who gives us most embarrassing situations which we have gone through in our childhood. It helps us a lot. Or we can talk. There are a couple of my friends whom when they say hello itself, I start laughing without any reason, without any main reason. At the most silliest things, we start laughing. So keep connected to people who uplifts your mood and cheers you up. So yes, this helps. Laughter helps us a lot, right? Yes. Success. People barely see the upward of whatever is present, beneath whatever it is, and there is much more contributing factors to our success. Most of them don't see that. They only see the success, the hard work or the sacrifices and whatever letdowns we've had. It's not necessary for others to know as well. Okay, they just see the success. I'm talking both about personal and professional life as well. So you're born to live this life, not just exist. This life, live it successfully, beautifully. Whatever adversities is there, jump from that, achieve your best. My topic is being emotionally wise. What is the difference between intelligence and wisdom? Intelligence is knowing everything. Wisdom is doing it. There is difference between knowing and doing. We all know. Yes, whatever I said, this is like wide knowledge. People are much more prophetic and people are much more profound knowledge. They're more knowledgeable than what I have presented right now. So knowing is different and doing. And being in the doing is very, 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 very successful. Bringing that doing knowledge, wisdom of being emotionally wise in your day-to-day existence and applying it is where you excel, where you can reach. It might take some time, yes. So what? You become much more stronger, you're much more wiser. Yes, you can do it. Life is lots of opportunities is there. You just need to see it. You'll achieve greater things. My best wishes to all of you. And if you have any questions, you can put on the questions. I hope this presentation was useful to you, all of you. It's been a revision of sorts for me as well. So thank you all for giving me this opportunity. Salim sir, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Nice, wonderful presentations. And now I'd like to invite Sunanda ma'am to take over further sessions.
Okay.
Thank you, Salim sir. It was a wonderful session, Vijay Priya ma'am. Participants, you can ask ma'am questions. Or you can type in the chat box.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Chitra from Tirupur.
Okay, ma'am.
Very good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Today also we had a very good time with your session.
Thank you, ma'am.
You explained the points that resilience, belief, mindfulness, compassion, and gratitude are wonderful, ma'am. The way your guidance are very, very useful to all of us. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome, ma'am. Welcome for giving me your precious time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, it was a really like how we take care of a physical thing, and emotion is such a thing which cannot be seen, and only we can take care of it. It was such an encompassing session. Like you almost covered everything in the time span given for you. It was really very encompassing and informative, ma'am. Thank you. We really enjoy all your sessions. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you. Sir, is there any question in the chat box? I'm unable to see the chat box. So,
Ma'am, they put
Sunanda
some
ma'am.
positive feedbacks actually. So you are getting a lot of positive
Okay,
feedbacks.
sir. Thank you.
There is
Thank
no
you,
question.
everyone. Thank you, Salim sir, again for giving this opportunity. Suresh sir, Salim sir, Sunanda ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Ma'am, from Geeta, I think she asked one question. Can you please talk little about mindfulness and how to practice?
Okay, ma'am. Mindfulness, is it?
Yeah.
So in our day-to-day life, Geeta ma'am, I'm answering you now. So in our day-to-day life, we are always in constant action. There is external action happening, and emotionally also internally, lots of thoughts are going on. Here a cycle is running, here the wheel is running, both the side it's running, and we reach a steady state in between. We find such state usually in meditation or pranayama or breathing techniques. But I'm not telling you to practice those techniques. When we find a steady state at some time, that is mindful. We keep connected to ourselves, to our inner self. How do we practice this mindfulness? You don't get it automatically. It's not like an injection or a ready-made pill. How do you practice mindfulness? First, you take a few deep breaths. Okay. After that, be aware of what you're doing, what you're thinking. Steady, slow down your pace a bit. Even if you're drinking a cup of water, just think about how the feel of water is as it is getting through your throat. Just focus on the process of drinking. When you're eating, just focus on each and every mouthful of thing. When you're working on something, just focus on that thing. Let it not scatter. Let your attention not scatter in various things. Okay, like when you're drinking water, don't think what am I kids doing? What about my project? No, not like that. Just savor the mouthful of water. Just savor the very whatever action you're doing right then and there. Savor it. Enjoy it. Pay attention to that, only that action. That is called mindfulness. I hope I have done justice to your question.
Yes, ma'am, very much. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome. Yeah. It gets better with practice. Yeah, it takes time, but it's easier to practice as well. And then it is a form of meditation in motion. It's like a ready-made meditation. It helps us anytime, anywhere. It helps us. Just be watchful of what you're doing. Only on that current action, nothing else.
Living in the present, ma'am, I think.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
In simple
Yes.
term, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, Sunanda ma'am, are we done with the questions, ma'am, or are there any more questions left?
Yes, ma'am. That's all.
Okay, ma'am.
Somebody is asking your contact number, ma'am. RK Kapoor, from RK Kapoor.
Okay. Okay, sure. I'll just tell it. You can note it down. 996 222. Sunanda ma'am, can you just type it in the type box, ma'am, as I
Yeah,
said?
yeah. Salim
I'm
sir
doing,
is,
ma'am.
yeah,
Okay,
he's
done.
doing, yeah.
Okay. 996 222 3777.
3.
777. Yes, sir. This is the one. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sunandam, you can give the vote of thanks now.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Ma'am, it was a wonderful session. You shared knowledge on how we control our emotions, emotional competence, and emotional management, resilience, belief, dosage of disappointment, and realities of life, stuck zone, then mindfulness, then gratitude journal, then ultimate change in your life. You beautifully explained, ma'am. Kindly accept our gratitude on behalf of American College Madurai, then Madras School of Social Work Chennai, Red Pond Educational Research Center, Yellow Pond Counseling Center, then Tamil Nadu Career Counselors Association, Tamil Nadu Career Counselor and Psychotherapy Association. We thank you, ma'am. Participants, tomorrow we have a wonderful session. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.